How to catch an e-ife. Jorah and Fen woke up to a very strange morning. Their sneakers were tied together in triple knots, and the cereal boxes were all upside down. "It must be a mischievous eef," Jorah whispered. Fen looked at the trail of neon green glitter leading under the sofa. An eef was famous for being fast, tiny, and very, very tricky. They knew they had to be clever if they wanted to see one up close. "To catch an eef, you need to think like an eef," Jorah said, grabbing her notebook. They followed the glitter trail past the sleeping dog and into the kitchen. Fen used a giant magnifying glass to inspect the clues. There, on the counter, was a tiny, zigzagging footprint pressed into a smudge of strawberry jam. The eef was definitely still in the house, and he was looking for snacks. Jorah and Fen gathered their supplies. They needed things that were shiny, sticky, and sweet. Jorah brought out a jar of golden honey and a roll of shimmering silver tape. Fen found a long cardboard tube from a wrapping paper roll. "We will build a sticky sweet slide," Fen declared. They worked together to prop the tube against the kitchen table, lining the bottom with the stickiest tape they could find. Deep in the shadows behind the fruit bowl, Zig the Eef watched with a giggle. He loved games. Zig was no larger than a salt shaker, wearing a suit made of autumn leaves that shimmered when he moved. He saw the shimmering tube and couldn't resist. With a silent leap, Zig hopped onto the edge of the tube and prepared to zoom down the slide. Zig zoomed down the slide like a tiny rocket. He hit the honey at the bottom and did a spectacular spin. Jorah peeked over the edge of a nearby armchair, holding her breath. She reached out with a soft silk scarf to try and scoop him up. But Zig was too fast. He used the honey to slide right across the floor, leaving a trail of sweet golden footprints behind him. "He's heading for the hallway," Fen shouted. He ran ahead, holding a colorful butterfly net. Zig was bouncing off the walls, moving so fast he looked like a blur of green and gold. Fen swung the net with a wide arc, hoping to catch the eef mid-air. But Zig performed a double flip over a stack of books and landed right on top of Fen's head before vanishing into the shadows of the coat rack. Zig hid inside a large, flowery teapot on the sideboard. He peeked out from the spout, watching the two children scramble around. He thought this was the best morning ever. He reached out and tapped a silver spoon against the porcelain, making a tiny clink to give them a hint. He wanted to be found, but he didn't want the game to end just yet. Jorah and Fen realized that nets and honey weren't enough. "We need to confuse him," Jorah said. They gathered every small mirror in the house and lined them up in a circle on the rug. They placed a single, sparkling blue marble in the center. "Every eef loves a good reflection," Fen whispered. They hid behind a stack of pillows and waited for the light to catch the mirrors. Zig couldn't resist the sparkle. He crept into the center of the mirror circle. Suddenly, he saw 100 Zigs. He turned left, and 100 Zigs turned left. He adjusted his hat, and 100 Zigs adjusted their hats. He was so fascinated by his many reflections that he forgot to keep running. He sat down and started making funny faces at the mirrors, laughing a tiny, bell-like laugh. Jorah didn't use a net this time. She slowly walked over and sat on the rug. She placed a tiny cupcake with pink frosting next to the blue marble. Zig looked at the cupcake, then at Jorah. He didn't run away. Instead, he climbed onto the cupcake and took a big bite. "I guess you don't catch an Eve with a trap," Jorah smiled. "You catch an Eve with a friend." Zig nodded and shared a tiny crumb with her.
Hey friends! Wait! More exciting episodes are on the way. But before that, don't forget to hit